Oops, sorry, careful.
What is it made of?
Cynical culture. It's more the word for how you grow things, but you grow them in synchronicity with each other. Or, you know, all plants grow together the way it was supposed to be. And by doing that, these plants give, you know, they're like social creatures, like we are. So they like to interact with other plants. And when plants live together and interact with other plants, they give each other, you know, nutrition. So, and that nutrition actually makes the plant stronger and more healthy for us. So when we have large fields of just one crop on it, those plants don't get the necessary interaction with other plants in order to produce health for us. So this project of cynical culture it's a Japanese project. We're working a lot with it in Sweden. It's all about how can we, with the help of biodiversity, proper biodiversity, show that as man and plants, we have a different future together than the one we think we have. So this is something that is extraordinarily healthy for you. And it's interesting, not just with, it's not how you digest it, but in Japan, they've also done trials with people suffering from dementia and letting them work in a garden consisting of many plants. And actually what happens is you get the chemicals from the plants on your body, and those chemicals actually also help to heal people. So you should get out in nature, touch as many plants as possible, at least not the poisonous ones, right? And watch out for the cobras. And then you should eat and drink stuff that comes from plants that have grown together. You're welcome. Please, absolutely, go ahead. This is meant for drinking. And the more you drink it, the better. No, I don't, unfortunately. I'm the guy without cards. But if you look up Sweden Food Tech, I don't think we have our logo up here, but swedenfoodtech.com. There you can find us. Okay. Okay. It is. It blew my mind the first time I heard about it. And you should also look up cynical culture. SYNECO, cynical, and then culture. Please go ahead. I'm just pouring as fast as I can. See if I can. Numa, vi behöver en runner för lite mer vatten här. Well, what you do is basically you can put more up here. I can pour this one for you.
What is this?
This is a special green tea grown in Japan that is together with a lot of other plants, and this means that this tea has more nutrition in it than conventional tea, just by growing together with other plants. So we'll fetch some more tea for you guys. So that was my last one from this jug, but we have a runner coming with more, so don't be shy. We will serve you all. Please do. It's Sweden Food Tech, and yes, and cynical culture. You can look it up on YouTube. There are some excellent clips on it. So please go ahead, and if you're a scientist, you will love it. Okay, it's just out. We're coming with some more. So
How much time
sorry?
How long time need to drink other?
How long time? Well, if you drink this type of tea for 3 months, if you're an old person with dementia, at least you're not, but then you'll feel the differences. So it's medicine in a cup of tea. And all my tea has gone, but there will be more. Ja, det får du göra. Nu håller vi, här kommer nästa. Ska vi se, har vi några påsar? Ska vi få testa det här. Det här är då... so we're just getting some, brewing some tea for you. Ska vi fyller på den där också, tycker jag. Have to give it a little brew first, otherwise it will just be water. We just want to get all the goodies out of this bag of tea. So this is interesting. This tea is straight from the lab in Japan, and it contains some amazing nutritional components compared to other tea. Based on the fact that these tea leaves have grown together with other bushes, other plants, and flowers, and of course in a soil that is very rich when it comes to nutrients and microbes, and that makes not just this tea but all these plants more nutritious because they interact with each other and share biocomponents, or how to put it, they share nutrition between each other. So plants are very good. One plant produces nutrition for another plant, and vice versa. So if we just focus on growing one single plant, we don't get that interaction between the plants. And when we don't get the interaction between the plants, we don't get all the nutrition that we possibly can. Plus, there's another interesting by-effect. That is that when plants grow together, they grow much faster. So if you grow plants together, or many plants, say in a field such a size of this pavilion, say, if you grow, instead of growing one plant, you grow perhaps 200 different plants together.
Possible to grow only lab.
Sorry, on?
Just a natural one, or only from within the lab?
Well, what you do is basically you enhance the land. So you basically you don't need to manage it. So you have to go and pick the weeds. That's important. But then you can just and then you have to harvest it continuously. Of course, some plants grow faster than other plants. So what you cannot do is to run a big tractor over it and harvest everything at the same time. That's impossible. But if you work with nature, the plants will grow on a field something like 30 times as much yield from the same field as if you only grow one plant. So this means that there is enough food for everyone on planet Earth and beyond, up to roughly 1 trillion people before we run out of land. But only if we grow things in this fashion instead of one monoculture. So there's enough food, and the food is healthier, and it's actually tastier too, to be honest, when we grow them together. So this is, oh please, absolutely, I'm pouring this for you guys. This is for you to taste. We don't have any milk here, but I guess it's possible, right? I guess so. I haven't. Sure, but why not? It's regular green tea in all aspects, but so I guess you can. Oops. I'll go ahead. I'll pour some more. We have more coming up, so don't be shy. Everyone get their fair share until I run out of cups, at least. Oh, that was the last of it. Yes, and here we have another one here. Let's brew it some more. Vi får hämta en till kanna vatten tror jag. Det är underbart. Ja. I will pour until we run out of glasses. Please, folks, grab this and beware when I pour so you don't get hot water on you. That would be horrible. You're welcome. You're welcome, folks. This is... So there you go.
This is tea?
This is tea. This is a special green tea coming out of Japan.
From Japan?
From Japan is this tea.
Not Sweden.
Not Sweden, no. But this is interesting because in Sweden we work a lot with people from all over the world in order to build a next-gen food system. So we brought in all our friends to the pavilion in order to see how we can build a good food system together with them. And this tea is based on a Japanese growing technique that has come out of Sony, the computer company, and where they have. Oh, watch your hand. Where they have come up with the method of growing plants, where they grow massive amounts of plants together, absolutely. And that means that these plants that like to interact with each other, they have. We're running for another jug. We're coming soon with that, and that cup of tea will. Or those plants then they grow faster, they become more nutritious, and you have fantastic effects on the yields, how much plants that come out of the soil. Something like 30 times as much food can come from the same land if you grow many plants together instead of just growing one. The problem is, of course, that you cannot take a tractor or a harvesting combine and run that over the field twice a year. You cannot do that.
Ja, jag har haft det.
Oh, perfect. So that's impossible. So you have to go out and you pick. So this is the way you go out into the field to understand. So you take your little basket, you walk out in the field, and you says, okay, what's fresh today, and you start picking. And then you venture home with your basket, and then you cook it, but you don't know what you're getting. And what's happening is that once you pick the stuff on the ground, perhaps there's a cauliflower underneath the leaves. That's I get sun, and then it suddenly starts to grow again. So it's a true mix of plants in a true biodiversity setting, and then you have tremendous results. And the thing is, we kind of forgot that as human beings in the name of industrialization of farming, which really was very, very efficient in producing huge amounts of cheap and safe calories. But very bad when it comes to preservation of nature and the building of nutrients in the plants. Jag tror vi behöver en till om vi har så här mycket. Yep. There you go. Watch your hand, please, so I don't burn you. So, here we have another one. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I should pour here in the front. So. And this is probably the last. And we have another jug coming. That wasn't much you got there, sir. But you know, if you wait a little, there will be more coming. This is fun, right? I think this is amazing. I love this. Oh, soon. Just a couple of seconds. We have some more tea coming up here. Did you like it? Was it good? So was okay. But you know, medicine doesn't taste good. You know, it's sometimes it's just good for you.
Men vi har ungefär 5 minuter kvar till så kör du på den här.
Ja, ja, visst, det gör så. Yes. Here we have some more tea for people. You're welcome. Watch out, it's hot, so yes. So be careful. Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
You're welcome. More than welcome. So, very well behaved. Thank you. You're so welcome. So welcome. Sorry? Smaken? Jaså, ja, nej, jag tror att det löser sig. So in 5 minutes, we'll continue with the next part of the program. Så, Hampus nu.
Yes.
Och hur länge är Hampus?
20 minuter.
20 minuter. Ja, men det är toppen.
6 minuter video först.
6 minuter video först, okej. Ja, bordet får stå kvar, absolut. En minut. Hampus inne än, eller? Hampus inne. Ja, gör det. Toppen. So folks, welcome back to the studio here at the Sweden Pavilion Expo stage, where we at Sweden Food Tech host a program for the official Food Week, which, as we all know, is happening right now here at Expo. So we decided to bring the world to the Swedish Pavilion, both in the forms of you as the audience, but also in the form of all the people out there in the world currently helping us in Sweden to reconstruct the food system into something that is healthy and sustainable for both us as humans and the planet. And we have today with us none other than the crazy magic bartender, head of bartender, Hampus Thunholm. He doesn't hear me.
Jo,
But
nu.
I'm like,
Jag hör dig.
now you
Jag hör dig.
Okay, super cool. Very good. So live straight from Sweden, we have Hampus, who is, I don't know how many times you've been nominated or designated the best bartender in Sweden, but I can assure you, if you have any of Hampus's drinks, you will never drink anything else from somebody else ever again. Now, Hampus, we're here to talk to you about the drinks of the future, but we'll start with a short movie.
We're trying actually to make something new for Scandinavia. I'm pretty sure that we have something new going on. I think we have been struggling for the last years to make Scandinavia a cocktail name. Hello, my name is Hampus Thunholm. I'm a bartender and bar owner here in Stockholm, Sweden. Right now we are at our new bar, the Röda Huset, the Red House in Swedish, located in central Stockholm at Sergels Torg. Fantastic, classic Stockholm venue. Well, I started my bartender career around when I was 16 years old at my mother's restaurant. Everyone, but now it's time for us to make our own name of talking with drinks in Scandinavia. We have a beautiful bar in Norway called Hip Park that started this 7 years ago. I think they have done a fantastic job for the Scandinavian bar scene, but now it's our turn to try to be a talking a new way with drinks from Scandinavia. All the ingredients that we're serving, except the booze, we have picked ourselves, or no, the guys have picked them for us. 100% Swedish ingredients. So we are, what I think, the first bar in Scandinavia that works 100% without citrus fruits for the moment. We're working with a great producer now from south of Stockholm, Huddinge, a dairy farm called Sandagårdsmejeri that we're working with instead of citrus fruit, because the way it's pretty acidic as it is, we just reduce it and feed it a little bit with milk acid, of course, for this one, and then we can substitute that for citrus. Or else we're working with a great apple farm down south in Sweden that produces really nice green apples that we are cold pressing and also sweetening up a little bit and make them a little bit more sour with, for example, this one, citric acid. So those two are maybe the bone of Röda Huset. We call the whey mix the happy whey mix. The apple mix we call the happy sour mix. What we realized during this project is that when we're getting like lemons to Sweden, they also change the flavor for the long transposition. When we're adding something citrus to a drink in Sweden, we're adding too much flavor. So if you have a rhubarb drink and citrus, it's gonna actually maybe taste more citrus because the flavor gets so intense that maybe not what it was supposed to be. But when we're working with this method, we are actually giving the ingredients a chance to talk more of itself. So if we want it to taste like apple, it's gonna taste 100% more like apple, if you ask me, to work this way. Okay, so guys, I'm gonna prepare a drink for you, one of our signature drinks here at the Red House. For this drink, we're working with whey from Sandvagårds Mejeri. The whey we're using instead of citrus fruit is have a really high acidity to it. This whey is coming from cheese products. What we've done with it, we added a little bit of sugar and milk acid because we thought the milk acid really makes sense because it's a milk product. For this drink, we choose to work with tequila because of the acidity and sugar, especially for the flavors of the lactose. But I think like for a blanco tequila, it's working really good. So a shot of blanco tequila. I'm just gonna shake this one up. And for me, right now, we have a Scandinavian margarita. We're gonna work this one a little bit more to a Scandinavian drink. So we're gonna start to strain this one up with a beautiful glass with a big chunk of ice. To finish this drink off, we're gonna use a really special berry from the northern parts of Sweden called Arctic raspberries. And just to make it sing a little bit more, and maybe we can get you the flavors of the Swedish summer in the middle of the winter as well. So here is our drink whey with Arctic raspberries.
Well, I know that drinking alcohol is not what you usually do here in the UAE or in the Middle East. It's something that we do a lot up in the north of Scandinavia. And Hampus, this is, of course, this is one of the moments where we would like you just to stick out your arm and give me that glass so I can receive it here and drink it here because it looked really tasty. Now,
you can't imagine how much I want to be with you guys.
Oh yeah, I understand. I heard the weather situation in Stockholm today, and I don't want to pain you with telling you about what we have here right now. But back to the
we woke
fact
up with snow.
oh God, snow! It's all this snow everywhere this time of the year. Have you made? By the way, have you ever done a drink with snow?
Yeah, we actually did. But Magnus did a dessert at Färviken with frost ice. So we worked a little bit with that. And you can also see like when you're using like the Japanese techniques, with shaving ice, that is almost snow. So yeah, we've been trying it out, but it's not been on the menu yet.
But tell me, how come you started to go in this direction, walking away from what I thought everyone was doing, is that limes, lemons, these types of universal ingredients, and you started experimenting with other things?
But this started off around 2016 for me, and back then I was a very creative bartender still, but also the bartender that maybe used the most weird ingredients in drinks. And I knew a lot of people coming from the fine dining industry and not from the bar industry. So I knew how to get fresh users flown into Stockholm, and I knew how to get all this really cool ingredients. But somewhere I start to think that this was a little bit too easy. But it was definitely when I moved up to work for Magnus at Färviken and go into his philosophy of cooking food. And to turning that into delicious drinks in both.
So basically, yeah. So you're building on a heritage of. For those of you who don't know, Magnus Nilsson is a world-renowned chef. Ran this restaurant called Färviken, one of the best restaurants in the world. for many years before closing it down and depriving us all of this magic experience, and experimenting a lot, of course, in line with the Nordic Food Manifesto. And are you creating now a Nordic Drink Manifesto? Is that what you're doing?
That is really big words, but like, yes, hopefully. That is what we're trying to do. And we are an amazing team in my bar right now, and with some other bars as well in the city, we think we have something new going on. And of course, with like, they taught us so much on those 2.5 years up in the northern parts of Sweden, and like giving away that heritage is no way we will do that. And it's also like, because the techniques and everything that we are using is really traditional Swedish techniques, and we really want to show the world that, like, this, my grandmother did this 40 years ago, and we want to do and keep the heritage up for like traditional Swedish ways.
Yeah, it's interesting. But when you go to your restaurant, by the way, it's not just an excellent bar; it's a magnificent restaurant as well. So I encourage everyone to try it. And when I came there and I looked at the drinks menu, and I was like, "What is this?" I didn't recognize any of the ingredients there. I didn't recognize the drinks at all. So I gave you free hand, and you came with something that was based on carrot, and another one was based on cucumber, I think it was.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And I thought, am I eating? Is it the soup or no? It was perfect drinks. So how do you find all that inspiration? Is it inherent in the mind of you as a great bartender and creator of tastes, or?
I think it's a 24/7 process going on up in your head, and you're taking influences of everything. But for me, it's the kitchen the most. I think that bartenders are not using kitchens as much as they should, because we are doing the same things, only with different techniques. And the palates of the chefs are more worked out, because they're trying things from the start to the end. As a bartender, you don't try everything all the time. First of all, you will be drunk if you do that. But I think my inspiration is mostly from kitchens and other dinners, and also to see what other people are doing in the world. Like, they're using that kind of technique in China. What happened if we do it? If we should do it in Sweden, how would we do it? Yeah, we would do it this way, and then we try it out that way. Lots of ideas was coming from you seeing other chefs work and trying to make it our own, and like, how will we do it?
Tell me, one of the strangest things, carrot, I can understand that. The cucumber, I might understand that, but whey, how came that came up?
that was actually from, they did a sauce at Faviken, like beurre blanc, but instead they used the whey instead of the white wine to get it more acidity. And then the idea came that if we can work with whey in the drink, we're gonna add a texture to it to get it like more creamy to drink. But if we reduce it, it's gonna be really sour. And then we found out a way of adding sugar to it, and then we after we added the sugar, we used that, instead of pouring 3 centiliters of lemon and 2 centiliters of sugar, which is the standard recipe for a sour drink in Stockholm, we can pour down 6 centiliters of this, and it's gonna be the same. So yeah, but it all started off with a sauce.
It started out with a sauce, and now we have excellent drinks now. No, so if you look at the traditional drinks that we drink today, now say you made a sour this time, and of course with new ingredients. But which ingredients out there have you struggled the most to replicate with only local ingredients from Sweden?
Of course, it's like it tastes like flavors like sorry, like vanilla. That is most common used in drinks, or like orange flavor waters, or like just citrus complements. But I think we also get roses in Sweden, so we can do our own flower water. It was a hard struggle in the beginning, but it is actually coming to us more simple that we thought it would be, to be honest. And we don't see it that we are missing things. Then we just have to create our own things, and that is what we see is the fun challenge in it, because it's no rules. We can do whatever we want because we're trying to create something something new.
Well, you know, if someone comes to you and says, I'd like to have a dry martini, so what do you put there instead of the olive?
We put a pickled plum, a small pickled plum.
Ah,
A green
lovely.
plum. Yeah, a little bit salty, but it's actually really good to the dry martini.
Okay, this is super cool. So can you walk us through your drinks menu a little and tell us,
Yeah, of course.
On,
So
on the
you have seen the menu, and the menu at the bar right now is actually a map of Sweden, and it's it's after me and the head bartender, we did a trip with a train for 9 days, going up, down, south, everywhere in Sweden, and met all the producers. And this is actually a true story. 2 days before we opened the bar, we put out all the ingredients that we bought down and freeze down or processed during the period of opening the Red House. And then we put the menu together with the ingredients that we had. We had a plan, but we hadn't tried anything 2 days before the grand opening, because I think you work really good under pressure. So what we created is lots of people coming to the restaurant, they are asking for the drink menu because they think that this is food they are looking at. Because we are a product-based bar that doesn't talk about booze, quite opposite for a normal bar, because we don't actually talk anything about the booze. We really want the other things that we put down in the drinks to be the star of the show. Like right now we are working with, we got some forced rhubarbs last week. The first rhubarbs are here in Sweden from a girl called Mia, and we are so proud to working with her. She was the former head supplier of vegetables for Faviken, and now she's working with all the top restaurants in Sweden. And just that we can buy those rhubarbs from her we are so proud of that, and we want that to be the star of our menu. The frozen rhubarb from Mia, and that's the name of the drink. And all of our drinks name is like, we have one drink that's called honey, and the honey drink is our version of an old fashioned. That is how we think an old fashioned will taste like if we created it in Scandinavia. It's honey that we flavor a little bit with balsamico and bourbon.
But then I must ask you, are any of these drinks, drinks that you have rediscovered and then you suddenly read about it in an old cookbook and said, oh, this is what people drank like 300 years ago or so? Or is it?
But I think the cucumber drink that you talked about is a perfect example. Like, because that is, in my mind, a vodka soda. You saw the carrot drink as well. The carrot drink is only sweet and sour carrot juice with aquavit. So that is a gin and juice, but a Scandinavian way of doing a gin and juice. And I think you had the drink with the frozen apple juice as well, and a burned apple. And that is a classic drink called the Rock and Rye, but we made it our version. So instead of burning the sugar with and adding water, we are we are freezing down apples and pressing them. So we get the sugar from the apple, we turn that to a caramel, and then we flavor that with Jameson. But then we had exactly the same drink, but a really new way of drinking it.
But you know, when I
So-
hear about this, and you talk about the rhubarb, for instance, coming now, does this mean that you don't only eat in season, you also drink in season?
Oh yeah, of course you do. And what I think is super fun with that is that we can really take the traditional way of thinking of food from Scandinavia. You had your root cellars back in the days where you preserved your food during the winter because nothing can grow. And for us, we are having it a little bit more easy actually, because if we just make uses of the great products that we have, or we make ice creams, they will last quite long in the freezer. So we can put, if like in front of you, a strawberry drink tomorrow, but we preserve the strawberries, but we can give you the flavors of summer. So yes, in one way you can drink really, really seasonal in Sweden, but I think also you can drink traditional in Sweden because we are using these techniques.
This is amazing. Tell me, I mean, like this is an area where I haven't met anyone or a bartender out in the world there that works with drinks in the same way as you, or are you the secret network of Vanguard bartenders that are out to change us?
We are a bunch, and like of course my style of drinks, because I have a lot of inspiration from the kitchen, but we're still working with cocktails. So I have my inspiration. We have a fantastic bar in London called the Lioness that is owned by a guy called Ryan, and they have a group called the Lion Family. They are inspiring me a lot. You have the guy from Scout. So we are a bunch of bars working this way that we are working. You see in the drinks, there are no garnish on our drinks. Everything is very, very clear. We're working very minimalistic, and that is the way you've been working in the fine dining industry for the last 10 years. So I think the bar is a little bit late, but this is now we want to be a little bit more fine dining, I think, but we still want to do it with the vibe of a cocktail bar.
The fine drinking, you know, that's your fine drinking. I like the word, but to me, it's really opening up an entire new venue, because when you venture out there in the world, and hence my question also to you is that you find all bars are exactly the same. There's been this McDonald'sification of bartending out there in the world, and everything looks the same, tastes the same, but suddenly I have a reason to go to a specific bar that goes far, far beyond, you know, the music or the other types of, you know, venue attributes, but just for the drinks that are beyond what you can get somewhere else. And I mean, Hampus, you must have seen a reaction to your way of doing drinks in Sweden. I assume you have a full house every night, basically.
Knock on wood is going really good in the bar right now, and thank you for really, really kind words. And I'm really glad that you say that you are saying, but because that is exactly what we want to do. We are a team of bartenders that have been working with classic cocktails for all of our lives, and we know that we are doing them really, really good. But we also know that our best friends at, like can take Shorget or Lucy's Flower Shop, for example, they are doing perfect classic cocktails as well. But then if we can show something else and create something new, then I get more excited about that as a bartender and as a creative person. And we don't just want to give you a new drink, we want to give you a full experience. And I'm so happy that a lot of guests leaving the restaurant, they are not thanking us for the drinks or the food, they are thanking us for the experience. And we want to show a new experience, and with great hospitality and a new way of thinking with drinks. I hope we will have a busy bar in a long term in front of us.
I am absolutely sure of that. And to all the bartenders in the world who are looking or watching this one, make sure that you go to the Red House, take inspiration what Hampus is doing, and then bring this method of, making drinks to your homes, so we can have more exciting drinks all around the world and not just at the Röda Huset in Stockholm. Thank you so much, Hampus, for joining us here.
Thank
at
you
the
so
Sweden
much
Expo.
for letting me be here.
It's a pleasure, and best of luck. And I look forward to seeing you soon again when I come home. I got mighty
Yeah, safe
thirsty.
flight home and have a great one. Goodbye.
Okay, bye for now. So, folks, that was the great Hampus Thunholm from Röda Huset in Stockholm. Make sure that you book a seat there the next time you're up north in Scandinavia. The drinks are truly amazing, and fine drinking is clearly the future of gastronomy. We now take a short break, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. 20 minutes, my team members say. 20 minutes from now, come and taste some funky stuff.
What's the name of the bar?
It's called the Röda Huset, or the Red House.
The Red House.
The Red House in Stockholm.
If I search Red House,
I'm sure you'll find the Red House in Stockholm, or
how do I write it?
I can write it in, and it's, let me do that. Oops, not now then. So, Röda. No, Röda.
Okay.
Fat thumbs. Röda Huset.
Okay. Thank
That's
you.
it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Så. Jag tycker det går bra nu. Det här funkar det, va? Ja? Vänta. Yes, just.